Hi, this is Mark Newman, Chief Analyst at TM Forum, speaking to you today at day 3 of DTW Ignite 2023. I'm here with Christophe and Sébastien from Intersec or Intersec, delighted to have Intersec as one of our sponsor partners for the Revenue Benchmark report this year. So that report is all about placing new bets in the industry. And Intersec, I think, is a really interesting company. And we've been talking for many years now about how operators are trying to monetize their data, with some success. But I think we all believe that the best is still to come. And so, Christophe, maybe if I can start with you, what do you think has held us back in terms of our ability to truly monetize the data that operators have at their availability?
Yeah, you're right, Mark. Telco have been struggling to be really very successful at monetizing their data. Yes. One explanation is that a lot of hopes and expectation for new use cases were relying on technological breakthrough. And remember 3G with video calls. And instead of relying on new GSM technology, now we have to consider the economic, environmental, geopolitical, yes, and regulatory framework, and look at how telco have been put into the spotlight. Yes. Take, for instance, all the threats on public safety with global warming, weather instability, or how the COVID have accelerated the digitalization of businesses, putting mobile tech network at the core of enterprises. Yes. Or on the regulatory, how the enforcement of user data privacy has shaken up the advertising ecosystem. Or look at how all the radical changes in the automotive industry with self-driving cars, or how the urban space is being reinvented in cities with multiple modes of transportation sharing the same space, where mobile networks are in the spotlight. Yes. And their role has become essential. Yes, yes, yes. And on top of all these external factors, telco have invested heavily in their network infrastructure, more recently with 5G. Yeah. And the telco mobility and activity metadata has turned into a really unique asset, covering close to 100% of the population, and from which they can derive a unique source of data in full respect and control and respect for user privacy.
And when we look at whether we call this data insights, data monetization, when we look at this opportunity, the data could be applied to many, many different segments. There's data from the network, data from customers, data from social media. How, as an operator, should you think about segmenting the market and viewing the opportunities?
Yeah, we notice that telcos are still addressing these vertical markets separately, developing use cases one by one. Since our inception, we adopted a more horizontal approach, crunching as much data as possible so as to open a wider range of use cases with agility. By the way, our clients have been monetizing their data both internally with targeted marketing campaigns, but also externally with location-based advertising or geostatistics, for instance. But it does not stop here. The platform allows them to monetize their infrastructure and comply with evolving regulation faster, easier, and at a lower cost. And taking an example of one of our customers in Europe, they have developed tens of use cases, leveraging on the insight they get from our platform for commercial application, public safety use cases, and a series of innovative solutions that they are testing and developing on an ongoing basis.
Thank you, Christophe. And Sébastien, if I can just turn to you, can you give us some examples of some use cases of companies that Intersec is working with today?
Yeah, of course. First example I can give is what we're doing with Vivo in Brazil. Actually, they're using our platform to provide new type of marketing campaigns. If I take an example of one of their customers, which is Universal Pictures, our platform allows them first to send movie trailers to the right audience, people who might be interested in the movie. But on top of that, with geofencing, it allows them to send notification when one of the targeted users approaches the zone where the movie is about to play.
Okay, wow.
So it allows them to send, a messaging, the movie is about to play, you will have 10% if you go to this session, etc. Another example I can give is what we're doing with SFR in France, where we also deploy our platform to collect 24/7 and all around the country for their 21 million subscribers, the full location and mobility data of their base. And we provide on top of that an analytics layer in order to provide a type of query engine where you can say how many people went to city A, from city A to city B, and how did they move? Is it by car, by train, whatever means. And then this data can be sold to airplanes company or transport company. And it's not only a report because it's real-time updated data. So then if the airplane company, based on this data, try to launch specific offers, they can see in real time, is that change actually the way people are moving, etc. So it's a subscription to real-time data that they're able to monetize.
Thank you. And I mentioned at the start that we've been talking about this opportunity for many years with some success. What do you think the market's going to look like in the years ahead? How do we think it's going to evolve?
Well, what we clearly see is that the telco are transforming themselves into technology provider, providing network as a service, network as a platform services, and try to build an ecosystem with solution vendors, software developer in order to bundle together telco services and application. And we see here in the different catalysts a lot of initiative around that, and very promising one. And in the telco services that the telco can provide, there's obviously the connectivity, but not only. Their metadata has a lot of value for the application. And we see that in many use cases. For the connected factories, for instance, this helps to provide visibility on all the assets of the factory, to control the industrial process, verify if everything's working well, if the device is disconnected or whatever, so doing predictive maintenance on that. And especially indoor and outdoor, because the telco coverage is everywhere. Another example is about the drones, where the telco metadata are completely trustful metadata. You cannot lie. If a drone comes from cell A to cell B, that's a fact. And this data is very valuable first to control completely the drone fleet, but also to ensure they are comply with regulations, that they take the right corridor and respect actually what they have to respect. So that's very valuable. And another example, and we see a lot of initiative on that here also, is about the connected vehicles, because the telco have the ability to look at the metadata for all connected devices, so all cars, but also pedestrian, bike, motorcycle, everything that has a SIM card. And having this global view allow to act on the signaling on the road, for instance, on the traffic light, on the panel, in order to prevent from traffic jam or prevent from accident. So the variety of use case here is huge, and the future.
In many ways, the limitation on the potential is our own imagination to think about where you can sell it. And I thought it was interesting that in the day one keynotes, Alison Kirby, who's a CEO of Telia, she actually mentioned data monetization, data insights as being one of their growth areas. So I think we're going to see some promising growth in this market. So Christophe, Sébastien from Intersec, thank you so much for joining us. And best of luck with building out the business. Thank you.
Thank you, well.